Hello, everybody, and welcome to another stream. Sorry about my voice, but caught a cold this week, so I'm just on the mend right now. Okay, let's get into it. I did manage to get a couple of things done. I was away for a week visiting some friends for Thanksgiving, but before that, I was able to get a few things in, and let's take a look. So first, something that I was showing in previous streams is the kind of the little wall hug kind of to get into through like tight spaces and it was a little honky to say that to kind of put it in a nice word. It was like it didn't really behave properly. The movement was fine. You were able to like get squeeze through a tight spot and then get to the other side, follow the spline. And there's still a little bit more refining to be done here. But what I wanted to show is I've managed to further refine it. It's like I said, it's still not quite there, but that once you enter the crawl space or like this space, you can move forward and backwards and kind of look up, down, look to the side. Right now, I think I might have positioned the camera a little bit off so you can see like the rest of the body. So I need to fix that. But the hands seem to follow the path a little bit easier. They're not. There's no more of that jerkiness where like it was just like a bunch of shaking and whatever going on. So and then you can move backwards and once you reach that exit point, you just exit and resume. Now, the other thing that I've added is the kind of the crawl mechanism. So that's working basically with the same class. And so you're just entering this spot here, and apparently I might have moved the mesh itself all down a little too far down. Let me see if I can fix that. And let's go back in here. And let me check on this real quick because I did make a few changes here, and that's what might have caused it. 1 second. All right, let's try this again. That's still no good. Let me, because I literally just right before the stream, I had this working. I'm not entirely sure why it's complaining about this. Let me see. Maybe I think I might have used the wrong offset. Let's try this. All right, so here it goes. Let's see. That's still no good. But so I need to adjust to that positioning. And then once you're into this crawl space, you can move in crawl. And once you reach the end of that spline, it should exit the crawl movement. Apparently right now it's not really doing that for whatever reason. So I'm gonna need to adjust that. But yeah, the crawl is almost in place. The animations are being played for that crawl movement. And yeah, there's some of these kind of small refinements that I need to do. I was showing with the wall space with that little with the gap where the camera is placed a little bit to the side. So there's a couple of offsets that I need to adjust when it comes to the mesh entering that space. And so that shouldn't be too difficult. And I hope to have that by next week. All right. So another update along with these movements like this crawl and this kind of tight gap movement. Let's take a look at some of the things that we kind of left off on during the last stream is we were trying to get the interior lighting to work a little bit better. And so that's another item that I try to work on for a little bit. Also, the motel level wasn't something that I was really fond of. I mean, it's a good looking motel, but it's kind of just a little flat, in its layout, and kind of gameplay possibilities that I wanted to have around that motel. And luckily, with this latest sale from Epic, I was able to grab another motel package that I think works quite a bit better. Also, the one thing that I like about this package, like I said, with the layout, is that it's got a nice outer building, some like a little road setup that I can adjust to use my roads. And maybe that will be the second part of the stream, where or maybe maybe the main part of the stream, since the updates were pretty quick, that I was able to get in there. All right, so let's take a look at this. I might need to reload these pieces, these regions. Oh, or I might be inside somewhere. There we go. That's better. Okay. I guess the camera was placed weirdly. So yes, the one thing that I wanted to show is a little bit on the interior lighting and some of the updates from last time. There was we were looking at this and it was quite a bit of noise going on, especially with some of the light coming in. So now the interior lighting looks like this, and quite a bit less noise going on over here. As you can see, there used to be quite a bunch of noise in these corners over here. So there's still a little bit around here. It might be due to some of the roughness. Sometimes the roughness can affect that with the reflections. And as well in the bathroom, that looks quite a bit better. And once you're in the hallway, there's just some lights in the hallway. But let's see if I was to turn this edit this level, or edit this level instance and turn this light off. You'll see kind of how let's see, there was another light in here. Can't remember if there was, but it might have been this one. Yeah, so this is how the directional light comes in. And if I was to adjust that a little bit, I'm gonna leave these lights off and let's commit the changes. And then let's adjust the directional light a little bit. So this is a little bit of how it looks prior to adding that post-process volume that I have upstairs. So let's try and expand this process volume, which I think I might need to go back into that. Oh no, actually I kept it on the in the main world. So let's adjust this one. Where is the downstairs? Right here. And I'm gonna try and encompass the downstairs too. So maybe a little bit more. So there you go. That's kind of how it looks once that post process is in place. And I think that looks quite a bit better. Of course, a lot less noise. Another thing that I was looking into is if you want to have drapes or any kind of like really thin objects, it seems that adds quite a bit of noise. So let me give you an example on that, and I'm gonna jump to this really awesome motel level, and let's take a look. I think the best example would be inside of one of these rooms, and hopefully one that's not on top of trees. I'm gonna try and let's just move this level around a little bit. And also the positioning of the directional light. matters quite a bit, depending on, of course, your layout of your interiors. It seems that kind of perpendicular works best. If you start putting it at an angle, you might get some weird bounce lighting, and that can cause some of these artifacts. But yeah, let's take a look at this motel, and we'll take a look at one of these rooms here. And this one is again just straight up with just the world post-process volume. It doesn't it's nothing really special. But let me add one of the interior post-process volumes, and I think I need to edit this one to get it. So that's one of them, and we'll take a look at that one where the light doesn't really uh, go into like the directional light, and uh, and so yeah, it actually looks all right. There's not a lot of even though there's not a lot of lighting coming into this room, there's still from I believe this would be from the skylight maybe that has this indirect lighting coming in, which actually I think I might have moved this right before before the stream and I didn't get to take a look at it too much. But let's go back to this post-process volume here that encompasses this hotel room. And as you can see, once you're outside, everything looks like, the inside is dark as, you would think. But then once you go inside, let's take a look. Yeah, it actually, you know, gets quite a bit of that bounce light and very little, and of course right now I just have it on high. Very little noise as uh, we had before. And of course, the transition between let me actually commit the changes because I kind of don't really like all this outline that the level instance has. So let me commit the changes here. Hey Atlantica, welcome, welcome. Um, yeah, I hope I'm having a pretty good weekend. I'm on demand, but yeah, it's pretty uh, as you can tell, cloudy and it's rainy and it's kind of cold. So we're in that part of the year. Yeah. How are you doing? Hopefully you're having a great weekend as well. And yeah, so once you go outside, there's the eye adaptation that's gonna it's not very powerful, but like I think works out pretty decent. Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. All right. So the reason that I really like this level in particular is like all these kind of kind of the back angles and this stuff underneath that you can go around. There's also like this little kind of office desk here, and this is kind of what I meant when I was talking about the as you can tell this one the sun I think might be at a slight angle. As you can see, there's a little bit of I mean not too much, not this definitely not as much as we had before, but there's a little bit of noise going on around here. And now what I wanted to kind of give the example of with the blinds, like with like us with one of those curtains. Let me actually get exactly what this asset was. Curtain 02. Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and commit the changes. I don't want to keep these anyways. I mean adding the new the curtain here. So I'm just gonna try and add it to this window here, and let's see if I can get that issue that I was running into before. Hopefully, maybe not so bad, but let's take a look at the directional light now. So directional light, if I was to spin this around a little bit, you'll see that that kind of effect starts showing up in that corner a little bit more. Not so much, but it's something that you might notice. Like for example, let me see. Oh, actually, yeah, this one's a better mesh. Uh, I remember looking at one of these, and it got kind of noisy where I was looking the last time, but uh, but not so much now. That is actually pretty good. Let me see. Why was I able to get that thing to happen? I don't think it is. I think that's the other one that I had. That's the other level that we were playing with last time. Or actually, I guess we weren't playing with it. This one was on I think like 50%. I think it still is till today. I still want to get a couple of other things. But I think I was in this room over here. So this one had like a curtain. Not sure if it was the same curtain, but and this is the other thing, like when it comes to the indirect lighting, mostly from the the skylight, it seems to be adding a little bit more of that noise, even though, I'm maybe exaggerating it to a certain extent, but it just it just feels that way. When there's like more light injected into the room, like where this one is, where the sun is coming in, I don't feel it's as much. And that kind of brings us back to the positioning of the light, and that's I kind of liked it to be at 90, and this one seemed to be like the lesser amount of noise. Of course, it's all just about adjusting it and kind of setting the right time of day for these. Hey Ayush, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. And so this one, let me see what would yeah, so for example, something like this where there's more light injected, you can kind of get a little bit more noise if you like move around. So yeah, but overall, I think this is kind of where I want to be when it comes uh, to how the light behaves in interiors, and just have a little bit of a seamless transition to the exterior. So. And then, once you go into a darker room like this one could definitely help from maybe like a higher exposure value from the post process, and also maybe this wall could benefit from having maybe another door on it, so there's like more light coming through. Ayush, GTA 6 trailer coming on December 5th. Oh yeah, nice. Which wasn't GTA 6 already out? I guess, or maybe GTA 5. I kind of stopped following it after GTA 3. I'm not sure why. I kind of enjoyed like the San Andreas one. Not sure if that was like the most popular. After that, it just kind of, I'm not sure if the story kind of turned a little bit convoluted with like three or four different characters. Their story was kind of weaving in and out, if I understand correctly, but they just felt a little odd. Okay, so that was the update on the lighting, and yeah, kind of areas like this seem to work a little bit better now with my latest setup. There's still, it's still not, perfect, but I'm quite happy where this is. And the other thing was a couple of console commands that I discovered kind of helped a little bit with removing some of the noise, and those are this r lumen reflections dot screen r dot lumen dot reflections dot screen traces set to 0, and then the r dot lumen dot screen probe gather dot screen traces, and I believe that one setting that to 0 as well, and that helped also with some of this noise. So yeah, that was the update on the lighting part of things. Now I mentioned this one package that it's on I think it's on a 50% discount or something like that. The one thing that I was quite impressed with it, aside from like the a lot of the main reason that I really enjoy these packages is not so much just the individual assets, which some of them are great, is that you already have a pre-built level. You know how much it takes to like build something like this? Probably quite a lot. So in terms of just the amount of work and hours that goes into something, it's not just as making the assets, but putting them together in this kind of coherent fashion. I think saves a ton of time. And particular with this package, there's like additional assets that you can use outside of this as well. Like there's the cars, there's the road markings, the decals. Of course, I'm not going to use the palm trees and all that, but there is um, there is so much um, other uses that can come from this. So yeah, it's definitely nice, and a variety of. I mean, yeah, there's two cars, but adding some colors, different colors to the cars would add to it. But yeah, and you might find it funny, but like this decal, I think this excited me um, probably not the most, but it was one of the decals that I was like, oh my God, this package is totally worth it because it's it's got a combination of everything in it. Like it's just a perfect um, road package or like a road type of decal, you know. And I was really thrilled that yeah, this is excellent. So yeah, there you go. That's kind of just a a small little item that that I got us excited about. Okay, so the idea would be to, at least for the rest of the stream, to finish adding this one and replacing the old motel. So like I said, the old motel was totally fine, but with this particular package, this particular asset, you get like a little bit more variety in the shape of the motel. Like this kind of L shape. The parking lot itself is also really nice to have. It's not just kind of a rectangular box. Yeah, and I get it, most motels are like that. The kind of the stairs at the ends are also really nice, nice addition. Again, stairs that I'm going to be able to use with some of the buildings for like kind of the exterior exits. And it also comes with some of these pre-made prefab, not prefab, but like these already single mesh houses, which I'm not probably not going to end up using, but for somebody that would, they're really nice looking. So yeah, there we go. I think the other plus to this is the road is actually a pretty good looking texture and mesh as well. The sidewalk, yeah, as well. So yeah, it's an overall this developer is I think I have it's two or three packages from him, so he's really good. Okay. So as you can tell, it's a pretty big size area, and I want to trim it down to just the motel zone here. I don't need these houses around it. And so what that's going to replace, and now that I'm using these level instances, I'm really enjoying them because before, you know, just selecting a ton of objects and moving them around, it was very intensive, right? It barely moved, and to be able to kind of accurately place it to at least some extent, it was very difficult. So now with these level instances, I can grab one of these levels that have some thousands of actors and just move it around really easily. So that's pretty nice. Okay, well, this is where this motel used to be in like right in this area over here. And I think I'm gonna keep that. Um, the other placement that I was thinking for it is on this side because it's right next to the lake. So that could, from a um, location perspective, that could be an interesting placement as well. So I am kind of considering, placing it right here as well. And I'm trying to adjust it so that it's at like negative 270, which is kind of facing the light. And of course, in the end, I might I'm still debating on whether to place the light, the directional light, where it should come from. And like for example, if I was to place it right here, I have the option. None of these are gonna get any of the lighting, right? So it's only gonna be, some of the bounce light, which I don't really like so much. But if I was to grab the directional light and just rotate it to, all right, come on, math. Where is this flipped around? That's 0. Oh yeah, it was actually 270, not negative 270. All right, so in kind of that kind of a position, I would say. And then you have one of these rooms, getting, this nice bounce lighting in here that would be enterable. And the same would be with at that point, I would have to like kind of move these around. But also another angle for the light would be at let me see, what is it? 180, 0 coming from this side. Okay, so that that kind of brings me to another I wouldn't say issue, but something that I've discovered might cause some of these artifacts is, and you can see them right here a little bit, uh, like you can kind of tell around this corner, is whenever there's like shadowing from like trees or kind of like these kind of moving type of items, which, I would say maybe in games would be, vegetation and stuff. So that could cause some artifacts as well. And yeah, as you can see right now, I've managed to kind of weed them out. There's not that many anymore, but so it looks a little bit better. And in this position, I'm kind of happy with. I kind of it's kind of where I had it before, for the directional light. And also when it comes to the motel, there's this one room here that's getting it. It's looking pretty good. And then this one it still has some light going in, which is fine. I can probably adjust the post process for this room to get a little bit more exposure in. Oh, hey, hello. Tell me, can I use my skeleton for characters for Unreal 5, or do I need to retarget? Yes, so it depends. It all depends on the animations. Like if your animations are for that character, yeah, you can totally use them. It's the only time when you need to retarget things is you use the animations from a different character, and that's pretty much that's pretty much when you need to do that. Hopefully that gave you uh that gave you an idea, gave you an answer. All right, so yeah, this is I was mentioning some weird artifacts at times. Let me see. Where was the positioning? There was like this little thing going on the on the window here. Can't remember where was the camera at? And of course now I can't really find it anymore. Well, that's a bummer. Anyways, so yeah, some of these artifacts are definitely pushed even more by the roughness of surfaces, and especially with this item here. Let me see, where is the windows? This material has quite a reflective surface, and you know bringing down that roughness, or actually bringing it up, so making it kind of a rougher surface would also help with removing some of the artifacts, is what I've noticed. All right. Well, I think this position is pretty good as far as, kind of how the light is coming in, and I kind of like it right here by the lake, so we'll go ahead and I'll start chopping this level down to just to remove, all the palm trees. We're not in Florida. And kind of the rest of the surroundings, like the street. I don't need the street. I need the parking lot, kind of the parking area is really nice. And again, kind of brings me back to the developer and in setting it up. And yeah, let's get to it. Oh yeah, so totally. Thank you so much. I watch you bring every time. Um, are you making it too big? I'm hoping I'm not gonna go overboard with it. Thank you for asking. I think the I have two locations that I've been trying to get in the world to finish the world building part of it, and that one mainly was this this motel. I had it from before, but like I said, I wasn't really happy with it. I wanted a little bit more of a variety. And the other one is a diner. Kind of just to give the feel of the world that's lived in. And that's kind of those are the last two. So I was able to, now that I mention it, I was able to get the diner also on a sale for this Thanksgiving sale, that November, Black Friday sale that Epic had, and made that little extra financial effort to get it. And yeah, I'm definitely very mindful about the size, yeah, and trying to not go overboard with it. It's so easy to go overboard with it. Like maybe a few months ago, I wasn't thinking of having, and actually let me commit this because it's I can't really show the rest of the areas so well. So a few months ago, I wasn't really thinking of having this kind of little downtown area, so to speak. And I've decided, you know what? It's since I wanted to make it look like it's kind of a lived in. I wanted to have just a small area, like a few buildings, nothing too big. And yeah, that's why I wanted to add these in. And like I said, as far as no nostalgia was, having this set of buildings here, which are from the CryEngine days. And of course, it's just going to be like the little refining with the sidewalks over here, so it shouldn't take me too long at all. But yeah, thank you. That was a great question. I think I can handle it. It's really getting close to adding kind of the story line that I have, and the gameplay. You know, the mechanics are in place when it comes to, like there's some small refinements, for like the hand-to-hand combat, and maybe some of the death animations, but interactions with the character, with the NPCs are in place. The kind of the mission mechanics are in place. So yeah, it definitely seems big, right? But I think once you start putting things together, they kind of start, coming together, and it doesn't seem as big anymore. And yeah, right now it looks pretty barren right here. There's like no sidewalks and stuff. But yeah, that's luckily, like I said, luckily there's all these awesome packages on the marketplace that you can quickly build things out like that. So to me, mostly was just the layout of, placing all these buildings. And yeah, so hopefully that made sense. Again, I appreciate you asking that. That was a perfect question. All right, let's jump into this. And I'm kind of wondering if I should do an edit in place here. I probably could. Let's try that. I usually like to do this outside, but oops, not all right. I'd like it to be in wireframe mode and looking at it from the top, or at least the top, not the front. All right, so there we go. So this is the area that I want to preserve. And hey, Raga, welcome, welcome. Yeah, my pleasure. Glad you found those tutorials useful. I wish, I had the time to do more of them, but and I every time somebody asks me about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I have this one that I want to be doing. There's this other one that I want to be doing, and then kind of the life hits you. Um, but um, but yeah, I definitely have a few more that I want to do that kind of some things that I've done for my project and that I couldn't find done by other tutorial making people, uh, YouTubers, I guess. So, and I definitely have them on my mind to do them. Yeah. Oh no, totally. I definitely know that, but at the same time, I enjoy doing them. To, in all honesty, I definitely enjoy doing these tutorials. Um, so yeah, well, this is kind of where I was a little bit afraid of it. Uh, it says there are 20,000 actors in the world, so this is for like the entire world, and I was hoping that it's just gonna invert the selection for this level that I'm currently editing, and doesn't seem that's the case. So I might have to I might have to just open this level and do it that way. It would have been nice though. So let's try that out. Yeah, so I think the one level that I oh level tutorial, there's like a couple of them. So one of them is related to dynamic end credits. So where you just add things to a data table, and they, at the end of the game, they just scroll by. And namely, I mentioned this before that I wanted to use it for assets that I got from like Sketchfab, from like Polyhaven, kind of giving credit to the authors. And that's I think a nice tutorial to have because I wasn't able to find one the way that I'm doing it, so I think might be helpful to people. And I have a couple of other ones that I wanted to do. The main thing, I've had other people asking about some tutorials on on specific things, and it's really tough because my project got so customized to this point that it'd be hard to show something how it's done, and other people have having a easy time replicating it because that's why it's sometimes it's difficult to make some tutorials that's kind of um, that would help people, right? I can show, hey, you know what, I've done it like this, during a stream or something, but making a tutorial out of it, considering all the complexity in the behind everything, might not help somebody that's just starting out, right? Or has a completely different set of packages and assets. Hey Raga, oh, by the way, quick question on the theme water plugin. Do you know any water plugin that looks good and works with natural flow? Oh yeah, that's a good question. So what I use, I actually use the I'm not sure if it's, is it the water plugin from Unreal? I believe it's a water plugin, right? If I'm not mistaken. So let me see. I believe it's called water. Yeah, so I have this enabled, but I only have it enabled because I want to use the material. I don't use the actual plugin itself because it's experimental. So yeah, and exactly that's what, and that's the thing. I only use the material because I managed to learn quite a lot from it, in terms of the real-time reflection. That was like the main thing that I was trying to figure out. And the plugin, the shader itself is actually pretty nice. Um, you know, nothing wrong with it. So I actually use it for my water bodies. Oh, Faye, do you plan to making a course for game dev itself? Yeah, that'd be an interesting thing to do. But I think there's already people that do like the YouTube thing full time, and unfortunately, I just don't really have the time to do it. It would have been something cool, like if I was to like win the lottery or something like that, like not have to work, that'd be definitely something on my mind. Um, Raiga, I've been sitting here for 7 hours trying to get anything close to water as I can, but it ain't working out. So let me show you. Let me actually do this thing real quick, just to finish to grab this stuff out of here, and I'll jump back into the main level, and show you what I did for how my water looks. Yeah. So let me see in here. I'm kind of wondering about this because um, I'm not sure why these post-process volumes got selected when I inverted the selection. So let me make sure that come on, that I'm not deleting them. Post-process. Okay, so I think let me see for the directional light. Let's see. So, yeah, Faye, I got you. I would love to see it. Honestly, it's hard to find good actual complete courses tutorial for UE5. Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, I usually recommend a few channels to people. The channels that have kind of playlist slash series of you know making a shooter game, kind of things. And yeah, uh, they take it quite far, which is really awesome. But and hopefully by that point, somebody that's just beginning will be able to take it further, right? And so yeah. Um, is it okay if I start OBS and capture how you did it so I can look at it later? Oh, you mean like what's going on right here? Well, the live streams are saved onto my channels. So yeah, you can. I think there's like it's like a live tab. So there's like videos and something like that, and the live streams are saved there. You don't need to, record it or anything. Hey Benos, welcome. Hello, hello, welcome. If I get my system working completely, probably I would do a complete series to develop my game on YouTube. And that's the thing. That's the thing. It's the the difficult part is it's I use quite a bunch of different pieces, right? And I put them all together. I kind of I would say Frankenstein this thing, but for somebody that starts from scratch, right? Doesn't use like ALS, doesn't use like the Quest Manager package that I have. Yeah, that's definitely going to be more difficult. I give you that. But for somebody that's just starting out, that might be a better option. I have some experience with, programming and all that, so I can, delve into these packages and kind of, adjust them to my needs and, heavily change them and for some of them. But yeah, somebody that's just starting out, I feel like um, my method is probably not the best, you know, because you might, okay, yeah, I'm taking this package and then this package and then this package, and now I managed to somewhat put them together, but then you have some issue that you can't really figure out, and you get frustrated, and then you might quit. So that's, that's also not a good way to do it. Um, yeah, it's definitely a lot of work. Like I mentioned before, I've been working on this project for 10 years now. Well, given the little hiccup where I was, using CryEngine for more than half of it, like two-thirds of it, it was CryEngine times. And and then I moved to Unreal. So, there was the learning curve. So that's, somebody just starting out is definitely have to account for the learning curve. And don't get frustrated. That's the main thing about it, because it's definitely difficult, but um, you'll see progress. That's what I liked about it. Even I was frustrated at times with Unreal. I was like, how the hell do you do this thing? And after a while, I just um, got used to it, and it's kind of now is just flowing pretty easily. Both the art part and the programming part, and kind of everything else. So Raiga, no, I mean the water part. So if I start working on it right after, I can revise. Well, Raiga, if you have me on Discord, if you want to ping me after the stream, we can have a quick screen share and take a look at it and see what we can figure out. I can hopefully give you a hand with that. Um, yep, I agree. Probably working with somebody else. Yeah, definitely is. Like if you can dedicate yourself to it, I think having a team is the best way to go. The problem with me is that I do this, uh, you know, I try to do most weeks part-time, but there are weeks that I have been doing it part-time, you know, so it's not even to a part-time level. And I wish I could be consistent enough to do it part-time every week, every single week, or and more. But yeah, like sometimes, there's things to do around the house. Something breaks down, so it takes you away. And that's kind of my problem with, kind of working in a team as well, is the, you know, if the other people are kind of fully involved and I'm only here um, now and then, it's kind of difficult. And the second reason is selfish. The second reason is, and I think it's also not that I'm recommending this, but it's also the reason that I've been doing this for this long and I'm not bored by it. And I keep on going, is I like to do every little thing. Like I like to do the art part. I like to do the programming part. I like to do the level design part. I like to do the sound part. Like everything that goes into it. And I've mentioned this before. That's what kind of keeps me going in a sense. It's just if I get bored with one thing, I do another thing. And you know, as a kind of a solo developer, it keeps that's what keeps me going. It might not be the thing for people that might be, I got this project, I gotta do it in, 2 years. I gotta get an artist, I gotta get a, concept design artist, I gotta get this, I gotta get that. It's, you know, uh, but to me, like I don't rely on this for income or anything like that. I hopefully I will, but at the moment it's a very passionate hobby. Let's put it that way. Yeah, so let me see. Atlantica, the more knowledge you gain, the less frustration you have. Definitely, definitely. Learning the basic is something that should not be skipped. Yep, yeah, totally. Definitely. It definitely is. And some of the basics I learned from CryEngine, they translated quite a bit into Unreal. But I did have to like rethink the whole, kind of how blueprints work and everything else. So I'm really thankful for how easy those are done. Um, so Faye, I work already as a 3D environment surface artist, but I'm trying to learn more about programming so it's easier for me in the future. Yeah, it's it's not as difficult as it seems. Each discipline has its own, hurdles, right? And once you get the concepts in programming, I think one of the things that I like about it is that once you get the concepts down, they translate easy across every language, right? And yeah, some of them might do it slightly different than others, but they're pretty much very similar. Yeah, and don't I would say don't go into it thinking that it's that you can't do it or that you see it as complicated because I think all of us started, whenever when they started doing something, it was, definitely complicated. But if you keep at it, and that's the main thing, if you keep at it, it's definitely gonna work out. All right, well, let's remove some of the stuff. There he goes. That's simplified it quite a lot. I think it's going to be a lot easier to manage. And we have these kind of the backside of the motel, which is going to be towards the lake. So I'm kind of set on placing it over there. And this one, I'm not going to need this house here. Oh yeah, definitely. Consistency is definitely the key. Yes, yes. Okay, which one was there you go, that's the top view. Oh, interesting. That's one big piece there. Yeah, smaller pieces. Oh yeah, Lanika, that's it. That's it. When you burn out, it's okay to take breaks. Yeah. If because that's, and I've had this, I've had moments where I was like, oh man, I don't think I can do it this week. So I actually just at that point, I think I might have played like Far Cry 5 or, Diablo 4, or something that kind of took my mind off of it, and at the same time helped me, focus back onto my project. Like I was playing Far Cry 5, yes, Far Cry 5, and I got actually some ideas from it, for like weapon handling, and I went to the point of, well, how do they actually do this? Um, and I kind of started taking it slow, like dealing with the enemies, and of course, you die a bunch of times trying to interact with some of the enemies and seeing, um, well, if I face him, can I still tackle him? Or if I come out at him from this angle, is it gonna tackle or is it gonna, like the stealth assassination, or is it gonna start punching, right? So I was trying to see, do they do like a dot product when interacting with the enemy, or what do they do? And that was pretty good to have. That's funny you said that. I played a game for the first time in months yesterday, and it was oh nice, Atlantica. And yeah, see, there you go. That's the whole point of this, right? You end up getting ideas, and I just enjoy doing that. All right, I think we can remove these pieces here and just leave the sidewalk. This one's a big one. I think I might keep that. I enjoy the stealth and sniper gameplay. Oh yeah, I enjoy that too. And another game which, interestingly enough, is something that I really enjoyed was Dishonored. So from the stealth aspect of things, Dishonored was awesome. Like I got some ideas from that as well. And yeah, so definitely, um, I mean, I guess that's why we're not really, in my mind, we're not we're working on games to play in, but we also play games because we love them, right? So, um, yeah, that's how I look at it. I mean, I'm definitely not, I really sometimes I enjoy, working on a video game rather than playing a video game, but it's also good to take a break. And yeah, Atlantica says the first time I played co-op, the other player went in all ramble while I was sniping. Nice. Um, nah, cool, cool. I didn't get to play co-op. That I think that might be cool to try it in that game, but I was I was always kind of a single player mindset type of person, so I've never really got into co-op. And I also most of my friends don't really play video games, so it's or at least the ones that do are on a different schedule than I am. And yeah, it only works out so well. Cool. Okay, and so we have the motel in place. Let's remove some of these palm trees because we don't need the palm trees in here. Palm. And actually, the other game that I recently played, and I think I might have mentioned it, is Dead Island 2, which I'm a big fan. That was very much enjoyed. Fun game. All right, let's go back into the main level and see how this one looks in the world. Yeah, I play mostly solo. Yeah, exactly. And um, it's I think both experience might be just as fun. For the the solo and the co-op. I um I just haven't played co-op any games because again I'm not a big fan of like multiplayer games to begin with. So yeah. And plus I really like to go around and like look at stuff when I play these games. Like for example with Dead Island 2, I was like sitting around and just looking at details, which they're like really awesome. And and literally I was just sitting there looking um at like decals at some point, I was okay, how did they do the decals on this wall? And that was pretty interesting. Oh yes. So here's another little thing um, that I ran into is sometimes when you go in and you edit a level, it's um, like I just did with the motel. It gets, for whatever reason, I do not understand why, it gets unloaded from here. And I'm having sometimes like the darnest like difficult time trying to let's see if I can reload this. Yeah, so it's still unloaded. What happens, at least to fix this, is I usually just reload Unreal, and that seems to help. Sometimes it doesn't. So I'll show you what I end up having to do when when that happens because I've ran into that issue with other things, not just level related, and at least this solved it. So let's see if the restart helps. But if that doesn't help, what I end up having to do is Let's get into this here. I would navigate to that to where that level is, and there is like a little bit of a like a .u asset file for that. And if you delete it, it's going to remove that unloaded level so you can, re-add that level instance and have it work that way. It seems that it doesn't really like when you edit the level that is, I think that is referenced in a level instance, which hopefully, kind of not sure if that's the case, but I've had that happen quite a few times. And sometimes like the level restart works, or like the kind of the engine restart. But sometimes I have to delete that .u asset file for that level instance, and that usually clears out the situation or the issue. So now let's see if we go back into. Oh yeah, and Alanica, world partition is not easy. Exactly, and my world is definitely as a comparison is very is small compared to other projects out there. But yeah, it's definitely not. They still have some things to fix for sure. And sometimes that's what I hate about development is the shiny things. I hate that kind of concept of the there's this new feature that we got to implement, but we got like 10,000 bugs in our backlog, but we got to get this new feature in. So, um, you know, that's kind of frustrating at times. I had an issue where their levels would disappear for no reason at all. Oh yeah. Well, in this one could be it. I'm not sure if you're using more partition. Have you checked to see if it's unloaded? Just as a thought, because that's in my case that's what happened. All right, so we're almost there. I think that's everything got loaded. There we go. And somehow I'm not entirely sure how the camera gets placed in those weird locations. Yeah, okay, so there we go. It worked now. This one's loaded back up. But if it's not loaded, what I ended up doing, and if you also get other assets in the world that show in this unloaded state and restarting the engine doesn't do it for you, what I did is you can right click on this package short name here, right? And there is a way, let me see, where was that? Uh, Copy selected actors file path. Let me see if that's it. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So this is, let me see, where was it? Yeah, this is it. So once you copy the level instance motel, right? So this one is showing up in a unloaded state, and it keeps on showing up as unloaded for like even after restarting the engine. So what I end up doing is in here, I navigate to where this U asset is for that level, and it's going to be right in here. So what I do, I just delete this directory. And then, yeah, you have to drag in the level instance and load the level again. But that has worked for me to fix these unloaded items when that happens. Of course, before doing that, I highly recommend, and not highly recommend, but ask you to use, GitHub, Perforce, whatever you have for like a repository source control system, and just save your changes. Because if anything breaks, you can, revert back to that and uh, maybe use a different way. But yeah. So just as a this is kind of what I do. It's probably not recommended by others, but I've seen I actually because I actually got that from a forum post in Unreal on the Unreal Engine forums, and it worked for me. Again, before doing it, save your changes, commit it to the repository, make sure you can get them back. So let's see, Atlantica, I haven't used World Partition since 4.26. Hmm, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And even, here I can also, having everything on one level, I can also break these levels down and, have everything in one level. I like the idea of still have them in separate levels, just from the aspect of I can open this particular level and remove a bunch of these or remove something else and so forth. I think that's the one reason that I liked it that way. Hmm. Let's see. So in the past, I've also tried manual level streaming and world origin rebasing. Well, yeah, I mean your project is galaxies, the size of galaxies. So it's a little bigger than the I don't know 2.5 by 2.5 kilometer world that I have. Um, yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too. There's not going to be any of those issues, and yeah. I'm not sure how well version control will work for me. My project is over 200 gigabytes. I zip the entire project once or twice a week. Yeah, well, so I use GitHub, and I believe it you can go up to about 100 gigabytes. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, once it's that size, how that might work. I mean, I can see it as, two repositories. If you have, just have one set of the content be in one repository, another set in a different repository, and depending on what side of the game you're working on, commit to that specific repository, I guess. I think that could. I don't see why that wouldn't work, to be honest. Hey, Gitish, welcome, welcome. Doing all right, doing all right. And yeah, okay, yeah, Git LFS helps a lot too. Faye, I wish they would even for a paid amount. I'm not sure if you can go over 100 gigabytes on a repository. Yeah, you have to. I think you have to have a paid subscription to use Git LFS. But I I'm cheap, so mine is free. I still think. Can you confirm if the yeah, okay, so it's $5 monthly. Yeah, that's not that bad. I mean, but well, if you're on free, I'm on free, and I have you can get up to 100 gigabytes, which hopefully the people over at Microsoft, I think they bought GitHub. They're not listening to this, and they're like, "Oh, wait, that's not right. Let's cut you back down to 10 gigabytes." But my project is close to 100 gigabytes, and I haven't had to pay. All right, so let's load the motel. And of course I got two because I couldn't name them any different. All right, so it's got to be this one. There we go. It's a lot it's a lot slimmer right now. There it is. They are not using proprietary code for Copilot, right? All right, so let's place the motel. I'm starting to wonder about the placement of the motel. Maybe I'll remove this building here because there's like a little bit too many of them. So this one could be somewhere around here. Yeah, that could work. Just like that. Oh, really? Huh. Oh, that's good to know. Thank you, Atlantica. Um, and Faye, I believe, sorry, not, but it's Raiga. As far as the water, yeah. So this is how my water looks like at the moment, and this is using that the the water, the Unreal water plugin shader. It's a different I'm not using the plugging assets themselves, but yeah, this is how the shader looks as far, kind of looks wise and so on. All right, well let's try and place this one here. We'll see. Let me see how we can get it in place. If we wanted to move it a little lower, kind of behind these houses. I might need to extend this water out a little bit. I'll bring it a little further down. All right, let's start there, and maybe we can adjust the terrain for it. And for now, I'm just gonna quickly paint the terrain so that it's we don't have some of these trees uncontrollably where the mesh is, where the level is. So, Gitesh, the water looks great. Thank you so much. Is the moss procedurally generated at runtime, or is it just textures above the water level? So, are you referring to the water lilies, like these things right here? This is the AI scatter tool, actually. So just, kind of place them along here, you know, this one too, and these ones too. So I use that IA scatter tool quite a bit. Hopefully that's what you're asking. Oh, hey, welcome. How are you? Maybe you will record a video about the waterfall creating one day. Um, so the waterfall creating, I think that's a good topic, to be honest. Um, do I believe there some people have covered it. I think if you're referring to the waterfall, yeah, whoops, I guess I haven't loaded that level in just yet. I had a waterfall over here. So I try to use Fluid Ninja and some other models, but it doesn't work in 5 plus. Yeah, well, when it comes to the waterfall, let me see. Actually, might have something over here. Oh yeah, there it is. Kind of, probably not the best right now because of the new water shader. But I actually, there's nothing really special about it. It's really just a river like material that has kind of the distance from the contact points to add some foam to it, and um, and it's actually from the water materials, I believe. It's the water materials that are. I think that package is still free, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I haven't used. I'm trying to not to limit the usage of trying to limit the usage of extra plugins as much as I can, just so that you know I've been bitten by it before, like where just recently with the dialog plugin, and thankfully the developer after a while he updated the plugin, so I'm not getting that error anymore because I wanted to migrate to 5.3 and I was running into an issue with it. So check out the water materials package and let me know how that works for you. Gitish, I'm on mobile right now. Couldn't figure out if it's oh yeah, no worries. It's hopefully kind of bringing it really close gave you an idea of what they are. You know, they're underneath the water. They actually look kind of cool once you swim in the water and you kind of looking once you also have that post-process effect happening. They look kind of cool. All right. Yes. So I might end up needing to cut some of this terrain as well from the level because this is sloping down towards the water. So yeah, we'll get that fixed. All right. Well, we have this one in here. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit this real quick, this level, to move this building off to the side a little bit. So this could be like an access road down here, and then an access road down here going be behind the buildings, which should be good. And there we go. So now we'll commit the changes to this. And let's see, can we move this a little bit more to this side like so? So we can have a little bit of road going to it. All right, well, let's add some splines from here. Oops, not there. It's kind of funny with the splines. You got to place it right outside because if you place it too close to this spline, it's going to add another point onto it. So just as a kind of a cautionary tale, I wouldn't say cautionary, but yeah, just to kind of keep an eye on that. All right, so let's join these together because I just wanted to have the road be like this. And this one, 90. All right, there we go. So this one would be one of the entrances to the motel. Oh, well, if you want to send me that link, I'm not sure if you have me on Discord or not. Send me that link and I'll try it out as well and see if I can, because I might make, I might be able to make some use of it as well. You know, it's always good to check some of these things out. But yes, if you want to send it to me on Discord, I'll take a look and if I can figure anything out, I'll definitely let you know. All right, so let's try and adjust these so they kind of met where they sculpt the terrain a little bit better, hopefully. Well, let's see. That one still needs to go this way a little bit more, like that. Yes, so the script is almost done. Um, I still got some, you know, every time I look at it, I'm not happy with it. It's kind of thing. So, but it's for this, kind of this part one of the story. Everything is almost in place. The one thing, like I said, that I wanted to do, there's a few minor things that I'm trying to work out with a couple of the characters, and a few of this, kind of side missions, extend the gameplay type of thing, which sounds horrible, I know, but you know, you gotta you gotta have that. All right, so that one sculpted it pretty well. All right, so let's add the road to it. go. There's a road. Excuse me. Hopefully, I didn't blow anybody's speakers out. Um, oh, it became sponsored. Okay. Sorry about that. But I'll tell you what. I mean, since that part of the level, I still need to add it. I didn't add that little section with that ravine. I I'm probably gonna add that next week, just to because like I said, I'm close to putting all these pieces together, and maybe we can take a look at that and see what how that waterfall looks because I need to update it myself. And at that point, if you if you're gonna be around, we can take a look at it and see like, oh, okay, so it's been done like this. So hopefully that will help you out as well. All right, well, let's see. These roads, I believe I was trying to set them to a smaller width, but set the segment itself to zero point 0.7. Okay, so that's what it is. All right, so these ones here, let's go ahead and grab the segments and set them to zero point 0.7. Okay, there we go. Atlantica, things break with engine up version updates. Yeah, they do, and I think that's one of the main reasons that I'm trying to not rely on too many packages. There's definitely some of the ones that are, kind of make the backbone of the game, like the quest manager and uh, mm, this dialogue plugin. But aside from that, I don't think I have any other, you know. Uh, essential plugins using. Hey, malicious munch. Hey, what type of game project are you working on? So this is an adventure, action adventure video game, and it's literally just like the name of the stream on your own because I work on it on my own. I'm not sure how I came up with that name, but so um, yeah, it's you start the game by kind of, crashing into this world via a plane crash sequence. You don't have any control over it. It's been used in many other games, I know. But so what's different, you can see like here, this is your flight path, this little line. Hopefully you can see it. So across this line, which is still, I'm still kind of debating on how to adjust it. There's like three different points that you're going to be able to, jump out of the airplane in and start the game. Basically, approaching it a little bit differently. Oh yeah, yeah, Gitish. No, no, no. I'm not going to leak anything. But I, this is the start of the game, and I think people has have seen it already when I was playing it around a couple of times. That kind of the plane flying and then choosing when to jump. So once you once you're on the ground, you'll start getting like the first missions from the friendly NPCs, and that's where the game starts. And you need to discover what has happened in this location. And there's gonna be like the NPC interactions and kind of fighting the baddies, of course. It's not a horror game, just to mention it. There's definitely some aspects to it that um, are not very happy, but that's some of the games are like that, or I wouldn't say not very happy, but they're real world type of things. So yeah, oh Gitish, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully I'll see you next week. I'll try and do two next week, and after that I'm gonna be streaming from remotely for a little bit, but hopefully that's not gonna impede any of the streaming. I'm gonna have a different internet connection, so we'll see. Hopefully that's gonna work out okay. Um, Yeah, the UE5 has definitely changed the translucency system. I've noticed that, especially for water, because, I think that was the main one that I've noticed not working anymore. Yeah. Yeah, so Gitish, you've also seen the armored areas with the big walls. Yeah, and that's one of the main facilities where some of these bad guys are located and you know, um, quarantining some of the people. But we'll see. We'll need to find out why. All right, so let's get this road in here. Um, I think it's just gonna stop there. I'm kind of looking at it, and I'm hoping it's not gonna mess it up too much, being at an angle. Hmm. Well, let's see. Just trying to adjust it like so. Yeah, no, I'm trying to give you know as much information to keep things interesting as I can. Yeah, because I also like to for people to have, interest in the project. Um, all right, so let's see. These kinds of roads go in between the buildings here. I think this one could be more like a little bit of an access road with just one lane kind of thing. So I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller, kind of like that. And let's see about the material for this. All right, that's a good placeholder for now for the road. They come together pretty decent. Once I add um, those, what was I gonna call them? The the decals should be pretty good. Well, so yeah, I mean, I'm declined to share the entire story, but I think just as a matter of interest, I want to tell kind of a little bit of it, but hopefully not giving away too much, because I think also complete secrecy is I don't think it's very good either. Um, at least I don't think it is, but in my mind, right? But yeah. All right, so let's clean this up a little bit around here, and we'll add the decals for these joints over here, and also fix the terrain with the trees around the hotel. Yeah, thank you, Atlantica. I appreciate that. It's and yeah, it's definitely difficult on how much to share. Yeah, totally. Uh, all right. Well, what I wanted to do is let's do a little bit of painting to remove some of this grass growing around here. Well, so I mean, there's definitely not that many buildings, to be honest. I mean, yeah, there's the motel, there's like a couple of apartment buildings over here. There's like the convenience store, like this warehouse. Um, this is kind of just like the levels around the town, right? Like a little bit of a substation area. Let's see what else. And I think that's it. Yeah, it's again, most of them are, they're not going to be enterable, but there's definitely going to be some that are. And this road is going to lead back into this little fishing village over here by this little, well, I wouldn't call it fishing village, but just like this little pond. And yeah, so kind of a really small downtown, I would call it. I wouldn't, yeah, but that's a good thing if you think there's like a lot of buildings, that might be good too. Um, Malicious Munch, that's what playtests are for. Worst things to keep you secret. And yeah, um, and um, definitely when it's gonna be like playtesting and all that, um, you know, I'm gonna ask folks to be nice. But again, what I'm hoping for the beginning of the year to have at least like a pre-alpha for people to test like functionality, maybe a couple of the missions at the beginning of the game, and hopefully um, get playing it a little bit. That's my hope. So that's where I've been working on getting these levels in place, because I've had an around, and I've been meaning to decide whether I'm going to use World Partition. And so since I've kind of committed to it at this point, it is what it is. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna go with it. Hopefully, hopefully it's gonna work out. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Sometimes sculpting the terrain with the splines don't work out perfectly. So I need to adjust some of these settings around here. Like I think this one, let's see if it's going to benefit from the side fall off. I'm wondering if it's like the left or the right side. Let's see which one it is. I want it the fall off on this side to be 0 so that it's only going to be sculpted up to by this road. Hey, Sai, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Faye, do you have knowledge in procedural animations? Um, so I've experimented around a little bit with that, but emphasis on little. You know, I think the uh, as the most procedural things that I've done, maybe not so much related, but like physical animations. Because in a way, yeah, they're sort of procedural. It's kind of reaction to being hit by something or like how getting an impact on a specific bone. But other than that, I think um, the maybe the most procedural I've done is not sure if you've just joined the channel or like if you just joined us, but I've shown in a previous video like one of the little missions is to carry a dog in a crate, and that dog kind of bobs around a little bit in the crate, and that's kind of just a procedural type of and again, hopefully my understanding of procedural is right, but um, it's basically just a sway of the bones where it's kind of like, moving a little bit, so it gives the idea that he's like shaking in that crate or moving in the crate, right? I'm trying to make an FPS control where the legs are procedural, but they modify. Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, that's a little bit over my level when it comes to animations. It's one of those things like a friend of mine was saying, I know enough to be dangerous. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay, well, this one is, I guess I was on the right side of that road. It seems to be sculpting in okay. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit more to, yeah, yeah, and that's excellent what you're doing, like you're saying, thinking for the future, right? That's perfect. So yesterday I brought a course on Udemy about rigging, animating, weight painting, and configuring Unit 5. Nice. Yeah, I believe Udemy has some pretty good courses, to be honest. And I think when it comes to animations, that's been one of the areas where I've been I actually haven't done, like rigging and animating myself just because it's complicated, man. No, definitely. I think and usually when it comes to it, I think it falls into like the organic kind of, realm of, the modeling, the animating and all that. And I suck at anything organic. Like I can do anything hard uh surface, or I think that's what it's called, right? But like when it comes to like organic things, I am out of my out of my world in that one. I don't know how to do anything organic. So that's why I've been uh, just relying on uh, things from the internet, right? Yeah, and I haven't used ChatGPT for that as much, but I've kind of been playing around with it for a little bit. Yeah, and that's the other thing, like I think I have two left hands when it comes to sculpting as well. Um, I can do okay if it comes to like using brushes, right? Like stamping a brush on a rock and creating something like that. I can kind of do that, but again, the result is nowhere near uh, anything of kind of cool or nice to look at. Yeah, yeah, I know. All right, let's see if we can kind of sculpt some of this terrain around this area. Hopefully not too far down. I need to pick the right height for this. I could go a little bit lower. Um, yeah, just cover it up with models, exactly. My question is, if I create some animations like pick up crouching, taking out a weapon from a holster, and I send you FPX, can you do a tutorial about this? Uh, well, I mean, I'm not sure if I can do a tutorial about it, but um, what um, what are you thinking of for the tutorial? Like how to implement them into like an action? So for example, you come up to an item and you want to pick it up. At that point, play the animation. Oh, hey, that'd be nice of you, Faye. Thank you so much. I mean, if you wanna add that um, to the Discord channel, at least that way people can get to them and download them, and I'll check them out as well, of course. 'Cause yep. Well, and yeah, that's the trouble here, right? Because I'm trying to think of kind of the tutorial aspect of things, right? And um, Yeah, it's a tough one because it involves, like multiple parts. Like from implementing like the pickup stuff, like how you would pick up the how you would interact, like the interactions. And then it would also involve the um, the animation blueprint. So it's yeah, because I hate saying no, but it's definitely it's not as easy as, okay, just get the animations and put them in a montage and do the interaction, right? Um, and I'm trying to think uh, how to direct you to something that would do that. Um, my the best tutorials that I've seen so far as a kind of a series, and I think as interactions as well. Not sure if you've checked out Ryan Laley. Um, it is an extensive system, but don't get discouraged by it. It's just it's probably not best to be fitted in just one tutorial, so to speak, because there's like a few moving parts to it. That's the only thing that I'm trying to say. So, but if you haven't checked Ryan Laley, I believe he has a set of tutorials that also involve like interactions and kind of like a series of tutorials for like in this case, it's a shooter game, I think. And I believe it also involves like inventory and weapons, so like picking up the weapon, equipping it if you have it in the inventory. Um, so so yeah, that's malicious. Thank you so much for mentioning. Yeah, I was trying to think how many would be involved, but yeah, if you're thinking of it, it'd be interactions. It'd be like a way to store that item or those items that you pick up, like a pistol, a bow, a rifle, binoculars, something like that. So there's two. Um, then, the part where, you kind of pick through the inventory and you equip the different weapons. And of course, if you want to fire the weapons, if those weapons, of course, you probably, that's the whole point of them. So that's going to be, um so we're already looking at four, probably just for like the kind of the bare bones of this. And I'm probably not even thinking of what else could be in there. So that's the only, yeah, it's that's the part where people get discouraged, and I would hate for people to feel that way, where it might become slightly overwhelming. But yeah, don't think about it. I mean, that don't look at it that is something that, oh, I'm not going to be able to do. You just have to start it. You just have to start doing it, and you know that's the cool part about it, because you split it into pieces, right? You have, like I was saying, you have the interaction system, then you have like the kind of the inventory system, then you have like the equipping and holstering system, and yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like one of those tutorial series should be really useful. And if you find like the right tutorial, it will be really easy to follow as well. And I think you have me on Discord, so at least I can help point you in the right direction, depending on what you find. Hey, Alistair, welcome. Um, can you explain to me why everyone does simulated pickup drop actions? Um, can you refine that a little bit? I don't think I follow. Oh, okay. So, let's see. Destroy actor and spawn a technically new copy. Well, so the way I do it is when it comes to picking up and dropping an actor. The way that I have mine set up is I have a specific actor that is the interactable actor, right? So you come up to it and you pick it up and it gets destroyed, because you picked it up and it's in your inventory. Then when you equip it, it's going to be the weapon actor, that has the properties of, like damage dealing and spawning, bullets and so on. And when you drop it, what you're going to do is you're going to spawn that interactable actor. So hopefully that gives you an idea of at least how I'm processing this. Um, and yes, like Malicious was saying, you want to destroy that actor. You don't want to, once you pick it up, of course, from a visual standpoint, and then from a technical standpoint, you don't want that thing to be hanging out in the world. Um, yeah, and Faye and Sai, I totally get it. It is just tough to find a direction with these tutorials. Um, each tutorial takes a different path. Well, Sai, do I have you on Discord? Let me see if I can find something that would make sense. I'll try and look. I'll try and do a search on through some of these tutorials that I've been looking through, and hopefully find something that might assist you. Hope that's okay. So Alistair, I mean, more like the world location transform is updated rather than needing to destroy, recreate. I kind of get that as well, but there might be um, there might be multiple assets, right? So you can't really keep track of them, right? I want my character to pick up what is seen. Well, right. I mean, that's the idea, right? I mean, you're gonna drop a bunch of these actors in the world, and you're gonna walk up to an item and pick it up, right? Am I not following? Let me know. Hopefully, I I didn't confuse things. Oh yeah, thank you, Malicious. Great question. So yeah, rather than pick up an immediate slower in inventory, I want my character to hold it in hand. Yeah, and well, I mean, and that would be the same story. Um, it wouldn't be any different. Like you would have that, like I'm using my example. You would have that interactable item on the ground. You come up to it, you interact with it, and then you can play the montage of you inspecting it, right? You're looking at it. But at that point, what you hold in your hand is that weapon that you have in your inventory. Um, and you have it attached to the bone. At least that's how I would do it. If there's uh, if folks think that there might be a better way, that'd be nice to tell me because I would probably it would probably help me as well. Yeah, and once the um, once the inspecting animation montage is complete, you kind of, well, air quotes, holster it, and that's that. And of course, the moment when you destroy that interactable item and switch over to the um, the actual weapon actor, that can be decided on, the time of the a specific time in the montage. Yeah, it's an illusion you can attach it to top of bone, but they're simulate and destroy the object and go to the montage. Yeah, exactly. That's a good one, malicious. Thank you. So it must be destroyed. Well, it depends. It depends on how you set up your um it depends how you set up your class. Faye, yeah. So the game is is a first-person shooter. All right. So let's simulate these trees. Let's see how they place around here. Uh, Thank you, Faye. I suppose my initial question is a kind of a secondary action. If you wanted to immediately have it in hand upon looting, grabbing. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any trouble with that. Um, I mean, like in like I said, I'm using my case as an example. In my case, the I have the actor that's interactable, and then a separate actor that gets spawned when you equip the weapon. That's an actual weapon actor. You can probably have them all in just one actor. That's also fine. I think. Yeah, and like Malicious is saying, you can generate the gun, basically once you touch the one that you're interacting with, that interactable actor, you destroy it and you spawn the new gun. I would probably recommend you don't do that if it's just a montage. It might be best if you destroy it when the montage is over, so the transition is smoother. But I was hoping to treat the weapons more like physics objects and have their respective locations updated rather than destroyed. Yeah. Um, just like Militia is saying, it's an optimization thing. And depending on um how many of these actors you're gonna have in the world, um, it might not be that much of an impact if you keep them around. But you know, I'm also kind of trying to make as best of a sense of what you're asking as well. Um, yeah. All right. So we have the motel in place. Let's add some of these decals around it. It's a lot of data things is having to store location states. Yeah, that's totally true, malicious. And that's, I mean, what I was saying was that if you have, one or two, three, four of these weapons, it might not be too bad, but um, I'm also trying to make a better sense of how you want to the part of the physics objects and have their respective locations updated. I mean, are you envisioning that um, the the weapon itself? Because I mean, once you pick it up and you inspect it, I mean, you're gonna holster it, right? Is there anything else that's gonna happen with the weapon? I'd like to have a secondary grammar akin to physics objects. Um, Here's a question. Do you have like an example? Because I'm kind of now it's kind of making me curious about about it. I mean, if you have an example of that behavior, I'd love to see it. It definitely sounds like a cool mechanic, but I'm trying to get a better idea for it. Yeah, in a pre-existing game or, kind of a pre-existing um, tutorial or something like that. I would love to see what how that is done. Oh yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question, Malicious. All right, there we go. So we have the transition from the main road onto this little section here. Let's see. Can you see the object after you holster and store it? Eventually, yes. Even if it's visually seen in a hip holster or some such, it would inevitably become unequipped. Once it's not in a ready state in hand, I'd consider it holster stored. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, it would be awesome if you had some sort of an example. I think it would at least for me, it would clear out a lot of questions. Sorry if I'm a little dense to understand it. All right, so there we go. We have that there. There's this awesome decal. Yeah, and Alistair, you can definitely, like I said, we can definitely chat on Discord a little bit more about this and see if we can clear it out, and we can bring it to everybody else in the next stream. And I think, in the end, that's what's cool about game design, right? It's uh, there's so many ways to do something, and that's what's fun about it. Yeah, there you go. That's a perfect answer, Malicious. Thank you so much. All right. Well, what's the road? I'm trying to find a road material that doesn't have like that line going through the middle. I'm not entirely sure that I have one. Somehow I thought I did, but I guess this one could work. Yeah. Pick up and store an inventory versus pick up and hold. I see. Oh, no worries, no worries. So pick up and store an inventory versus pick up and store. Oh, pick up and hold. Well, I mean, in the end, they're depending. It all depends on how you use the animations. Um, they're really kind of the same. Like, and it also depends on whether it's a first person or a second or a third person type of game, right? If you want them to be also always visible, on the back of your character and stuff, um, or That would be kind of your first option, right? Pick up and store inventory, and only when you unholster it, you see it, right? Um, and pick up and hold would be the same thing. It's only like that actor would exist in the world, like the weapon they hold in your hand. Thank you, Malicious. Yeah. The search for the asphalt patches has begun. Yeah, to some extent, but um, it's like, practiced magic or I like to not fake it with the destroy and recreate swap. I prefer to attach to a socket. Well, and I can kind of I see what you're saying. I'm wondering if yeah, they will be able to holster conceal what they'd be able to in real life, to holster conceal what they'd be able to in real life. Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. That was a game that I've been meaning to play for a while. I haven't really seen it, how that's done. Uh-huh. And holsters. Okay. Well, so I think you could have um two options here, right? Like the ones that we were saying with um the swapping, which you don't really want to do. Or the other one would be like the weapon is also an interactable item, right? So it has all the properties of the weapon. Once you interact with it and you fire it, you spawn the bullet and everything else. And it also has the properties of an interactable object. So once you drop it, you'd be able to pick it back up. And at that point, uh, yeah, you would, literally just pick up the interactable slash weapon object and, inspect it and then holster it. Um, so what if when you empty, you want to flip? Yeah, and that's all in the implementation of the weapon. So basically you would implement that in such a way that, you would keep on firing, and once you run out of bullets, you just you kind of set the animations and of course the weapon itself um, to be either equipped differently, and once you play the attack button or hit the attack button, it's gonna know that okay, I ran out of bullets, which is based on the inventory probably, and now I'm gonna switch to melee, and at that point you switch the animations. You're probably gonna have like some kind of little capsule collision on the weapon. So once you start hitting, it determines whether that weapon hits something and is going to deal the damage that way. And then when you equip it, you just, store it back in the socket, and so it should work the same way. But it you know between that and kind of the swapping, destroying the item and swapping, it's up to you. Like, would you rather have the bigger complexity in one class versus the two classes where you might be able to manage them a little bit better? Um, Up to you. Because um, the same thing can be achieved either way. So yeah, happy you found it useful. That's awesome. All right. Well, it's 1:13. We've been at it for a couple of hours, which is kind of where I want to end normally the streams. I don't want to lose interest, I guess. But thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by. I I hope to see you next week. I'm gonna do my best to do two streams, like one on Saturday, one on Sunday. And actually, I forgot, Faye, you asked, and for level design, you're an environmental artist, right? If that was a question to me, I am not. My day job is a software engineer, so this is everything you see is self-taught. It's kind of like I like this, I'm gonna do it like this. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. So yeah, thank you so much, Malicious, for joining Discord, and Alistair. Yeah, feel free to. There's like a dev help channel on there to ask it, and I try to check Discord as often as I can. But if I'm not around, hopefully somebody else might be able to help out. All right. Well, thank you everybody for again for stopping by. Uh, I hope um, I hope to see you next stream, and yeah, I hope that you guys to have a great week coming up, and see you next week. All right, guys, take care. Bye. Thank you so much, Malicious.